Have you ever felt one with the machine? I think I started playing the series with Armored Core 4, where I figured that having played Battle City, playing with mechs was the next logical step, as tanks were the progenitor of the mech. This made sense, since I and everyone else I knew fell into the Gundam Wing hole, as well as the Patlabor hole, the Voltus 5 hole, the Voltron hole, you get the deal. And so I installed Armored Core 6 a few weeks ago. I did not think my computer could run it smoothly, but I wanted to play with mechs, so I did it anyway. And it ran better than I thought it would, which was a rare, pleasant surprise. But what really surprised me was that it also felt a lot better than I thought it would. Because from the moment I took control of the starter AC, I felt at home. Holy cow, I'm not supposed to lose to this. I'm supposed to win. It was like putting on my favorite shirt and then going to war. It was a neural handshake, like Pacific Rim, except that instead of another person, it was a thing in a video game. It was a connection I didn't think I could have. I don't think I've ever played a game that made me feel this united with my in-game avatar. It didn't feel like I was piloting an arbitrary shape on the screen that performed mechanics with button presses, although that experience is still a lot of fun. It's just that for Armored Core 6, it felt special. Translating your intent or controls into a game feels incredibly underappreciated. I mean, you have to learn what the game allows you to do and what it wants you to do, but it also has to make it feel like you're in control. When you press the jump, it must not just do the jump, but jump in a way that feels good, which is a sentence that is driving me insane because I lack the knowledge and apparently the vocabulary to say this more precisely. So let's go with this. Bad controls feel slippery, or too tight, just not right. The guy on the screen doesn't do what you want him to when you want him to. Good controls let you do what you want, and allow for a measure of skill expression. You're not just doing the jump, you're doing the jump better than other people, because you have the skill to get the timing down. Great controls I will touch on in a little bit, but what I want to say is that great controls are rarely universal. Everyone has a different feel for games, and what feels great for one person may feel like dog water to another. Armored Core 6, I feel, for me, is beyond great. It made me the ghost in the machine. Piloting the core feels like a warm hug that gently moves me from place to place as I fire missiles or hold the chain gun trigger because everyone grows up thinking they'd pilot Death Scythe or Gundam Wing, but really, they are heavy arms, and my body is a machine that turns cores into heavy arms. The mech, the core feels right, it moves right. Every action and success was mine. But it moves so precisely that I can say every mistake made, every failure was also mine. Because it wasn't from something that was beyond me, but because I made a choice and it was the wrong one. I gave this some thought, and I think this incredible experience was because of two things. I think the fact that it is in third person helps put me into the mech more than it would have if it were in first person, because I don't know about you, but I've never been in a mech before. I don't know how the seat feels when the engines fire up, or how much kick this weird shotgun has. I have no experience to draw from. So I've always had trouble putting myself into mechs when it's a first-person view, like with MechWarrior. In Titanfall, I felt like just a bigger dude with a gun, which is not a bad thing. Familiarity can get you into games faster because you're less confused as a whole. But in AC6, in third person, it lets me see the boosters as they fire when I try to stabilize my descent or when I quick boost past a missile. Every button I press is matched by movement on the mech, creating visual feedback that I can understand, process, and in a way translates into feel, like a form of synesthesia. What I see becomes what I feel because the core is so visually reactive to my commands. The other thing I think is the modularity of it. One of the best things about Armored Core is that you are not given a set mech. You do not get a bunch of pre-built machines to pilot. You get to build your very own. The starter machine felt good, but I could make it feel better with a few modifications. So I focused entirely on that, on how it made me feel. The skill expression in Armored Core seemed like it leaned towards movement rather than aim, at least to me, as the targeting assist seemed to indicate that offense revolved around the choice of parts and timing rather than quote-unquote aim. Movement, on the other hand, was where I could do real work, avoiding shots and making sure I was always in the correct range for my weapons to do work. So I focused on movement stats, things that let me do the things I wanted to do, like quick boosting more often and more efficiently to feel cool or to move faster to get to objectives. In what feels like a first in my life, I went with movement and speed first, firepower second. And the firepower I chose required minimal supervision. Missiles, handheld rocket launchers and grenade launchers for use on overextended targets, and a rifle or Gatling gun for small prey. And I think I'm halfway through the game and it's been working extremely well for me. Which is good because it would have been disappointing to be shoehorned into a specific style of play just to get through the game. Granted, certain builds or styles might make certain encounters far easier to overcome. But I think it is just beautiful that my style is not for everyone. And even if it is, that kind of speed or responsiveness preferred differs from person to person. The beauty of Armored Core is that you can build towards your strengths and desires. Heavier, lighter, tank treads, forelegs, the world is your modular oyster. I do understand that some people see it as a puzzle to be solved, trying to figure out what machine could take on the mission with the greatest of ease, and I usually opt for this approach in many games. But in Armored Core 6, I wasn't here to get good. I was here to feel good. And because of this, I can express my skill, or lack of it. I don't think I'm good at the game, but the game lets me express what I can do, letting me assess my performance with accuracy, which in turn speeds up my growth. There is an early game boss atop a wall. He's got armor in the front, so I maneuvered myself around him, doing the Armored Core equivalent of circle strafing and waiting for him to charge at me. That didn't work so good. So instead, I started floating above him, dashing over the shield and dumping my load. And I got there because AC6 was letting me play the game, if you will. I trusted the game. I wasn't there debating hitboxes or systems or whatever. More often than not, I found myself watching enemies, poking their defenses to see how many dashes they have in them before I can unleash a grenade launcher. All of this, along with the stellar sound and gritty graphics, combined to give me an experience that feels damn good. And I think if you like mechs and haven't played this game, you should really give it a shot. I haven't finished it yet, and I've run into a few unexpected issues, but I think I'm gonna have fun with it till the end. I just wanted to tell you guys how much fun I'm having with Armored Core 6. Thanks for watching. I am Patinator. I'll see you later.